Good afternoon from Vietnam, Gaurav. Thanks a lot for spending your afternoon joining our Inside Sharing shows and share your stories with our global audience. On behalf of the listener of the show, we want to say thank you to you.
Thank you so much, and the pleasure is all mine. Thank you.
And as we share with you, this show it's gonna feature you and the works, the journey that leading to what you are doing today. In our culture, it's very honor if we can have you to do a little introduction about who you are and the works that you do. Would you please do that for us?
Oh, we'll be very happy to do that, and thank you for this privilege. It's always good to be on the other side. Generally, I love interviewing people. That's where I have my own podcast called the X Months Drive, and being on the other side is, I think, it's fun because that will give me an opportunity as well to introduce myself. My name is Gaurav from India. Stay in New Delhi, which happens to be the capital of India. Born and brought up here in a lower middle class family, and since then, I've had the privilege of experiencing the privileges and the gifts of being in a middle class family. Stay in a joint family. I think these are some pleasures and happy moments that you enjoy when you are a part of a joint family. Things are accessible to you easily. The relationships are easily accessible to you. Loads and loads of love is accessible to you, and so much fun is accessible to you. So that's one part of it. I have my own coaching practice in India called X Monks. That's a company that I run. We are into leadership development and executive coaching. We run one of the biggest coaching conferences in the country. Have my own podcast, as I mentioned. So it's all fun. That's where I am. So yeah, as we walk, I'm sure I'll be very happy to share different chapters of my life. I have a beautiful daughter who will be turning 3 in February 2023. So yeah,
So two daughters.
one daughter. I have
What?
one daughter.
One daughter. Okay. What's
Yeah,
her name?
her name is Neer, N-E-E-R,
And
and Neer means water.
water.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. How old is she? I couldn't catch the years as she was born.
she'll be turning 3 very soon. So
Ah.
in February 2023, she'll be turning 3.
What day was that? So we will send a happy birthday to her on February.
For sure, for sure.
What day? What day is her birthday?
Her birthday is on 22nd of February.
22nd of February. I'll mark on our calendar. All right. Hello. You have a wonderful career that you introduced to us in less than 2 minutes. All right. And we want to dive in deeper to get to know a lot more. Would that be all right with you if
Would
we
be very
trip
happy
time
to
travel
share.
time?
Would be very happy to share that.
Alrighty. Let's travel time. When I was young, I always wanted to become an astronaut. All right, but life didn't give me
Mm,
any opportunity to become one. So
mm.
when you was young, what was your dreams of your future self, though?
Hmm, that's a beautiful question. Actually, when I was young, I just used to have fun in my life. It's only when I turned into 10th standard and then 11th and 12th, I wanted to be an engineer. I did my engineering, did my MBA. Things went really well. I was in theater, and I'm an artist as well. And I used to love playing with colors, bottles of colors I can throw on a piece of canvas to draw my own Mona Lisa. Um, I joined theater, did really well there as well. Then I wanted to join the film industry. As the luck would have it, I injured my back and went through my own ups and downs in my life, and that got shattered. And then I said I would like to be an MC, and I think that's how I started my journey as a master of ceremony. And I loved it. I loved it. Jumping on stage in front of people, fifth anniversary, silver jubilee, golden jubilee, and I would host shows. So I can't recall what I wanted to be as a young child. But as I progressed, I could sense that how I wanted to be into something which is theatrical or something related to art or something which is very creative in nature. So I think that creativity has always been a common thread in everything that I've done in my life until
Mm.
today as well. I think if it's not artistic in nature, I don't dwell into that, be it the coaching that I do, be it the leadership development work that I do, be it the entrepreneur that who I am,
Mm.
be it as simple as making salad for myself or for my family members or for my friends, be it calligraphy or playing with color pencils and colors. I think the common thread is being an artist,
Mm.
be it dancing on the dance floor, be it poetry, be it writing, be it delivering a leadership development program. I think I bring a lot of creativity there as well.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of experiential stuff I bring in. So I
Mm.
think the common theme was, and it continues to be here as well, today as well, it's creativity.
Mm.
So that's how I would address your question. Thank you for asking.
Wow, wow. So thank you for sharing that. All right. I believe that the works of leadership development and coaching is an art of between the mix between the science and art for sure, because you need to understand the pupil and then find creative ways that can help them to go to the next level. So so but before you entering into this realm, you did not study being a coach, right? Tell us what did you how did everything start at the beginning of your school years and after.
Yeah, yeah. How did it all start? What a beautiful question. Thank you for asking all these beautiful questions. It all started, as I mentioned, I did my engineering, I did my MBA, started working with one of the banks as a management trainee,
Mm.
joined a KPO, joined them as a business analyst, and progressed really well. I think another thing that has been very common in my life is I've been blessed through and throughout. You may call it God, you may call it universe, you may call it nature. Somebody up there has been extremely kind to me, extremely kind to me. 2005 was the time when I just got lucky, joined one of the leadership development firms in India. And that was the time when coaching was very nascent in the country, very, very new.
Mm.
I was instrumental in putting the first coach training program together for that organization in North India. Now, the interesting part was I didn't know much about coaching at that point. 2005 was very, very nascent in the country, right? And least did I expect that after 17, 18 years, I would be doing exactly the same stuff. And um, today, I breathe, I inhale, I sleep, I drink. I mean, everything around me is around coaching, right? We run one of the biggest conferences in the country. We certify people to become coaches. We have coaching as a service. We train leaders to become coaches. We work with coaches to move up and pick up some advanced competencies. So in 2005 is when it all started. And today, when I look back, I think it has been a fascinating journey. I have grown up as an individual from that insecure, fearful, competitive Gaurav who started in the year 2005. I think it has been a beautiful, phenomenal journey.
Mm.
Yeah. And I think throughout this journey, people has been extremely kind to me, extremely kind to me.
Mm.
I've met some really amazing friends, some really amazing, thought-provoking, generous teachers who have helped me become who I am today.
Mm.
So generally, I think I've been extremely grateful to life. Life has been very generous, magnanimous, very giving, very kind to me.
Wow. Garo,
So,
you mentioned about, you have a chance to have a lot of extremely kind people happen to come to your life, right? But on the other end of the rope, it has to be something from you that you did well back then that attracted kind people to come and help you to grow also. So what did you do?
mm, um, you know, I do understand that at the cognitive level, that I would have done something well to attract all that in my life. I
Hmm.
do believe in karma theory. I do believe in law of attraction.
Yep.
But if you ask me hand on heart, I genuinely don't know if there's something that I have done. I've been extremely open to learning. I've been an extremely curious child through and throughout. I've been respectful. I'm very comfortable in giving space to people.
Hmm.
But does that mean that I have done something to attract all this thing in my life? My answer is no. I've not been able to figure out. Trust me.
Hmm.
Um, as I'm just talking to you, I can definitely tell you that my parents have been extremely kind to other people, be it my dad or be it my mother. My mother has been an epitome of generosity. She has been an epitome of uh, gratitude.
Hmm.
She has been an epitome of what it means to give others. She has been a symbol of service to others.
Hmm.
And that's how I've always known her. She has lived her life with what I call it shukrana, that means gratitude, in service of others.
Hmm.
My dad has been instrumental in putting people together. He has been instrumental in making sure uh, he has been kind to all our relatives. He makes sure that he goes and meet people, support them in any form and shape in case they need them. And I can see that all these pearls, all these traits have been a very instrumental, a very important part of my life.
Hmm.
I mean, they are definitely those values that drive me. But have I done anything to attract all this generosity and magnanimity from life? My answer is no. Probably I just got lucky to be born in the family that I was born into, to be the siblings of two wonderful siblings that I have. Have I done anything? My answer is no. Uh, so sorry, that's the best I could address. That's how the best I could address your question. Yeah.
Alrighty, thank you. And then I think the modeling is very important. Your parents did really, really well modeling on, showing the right kind of values, the right kind of, characters to teach the children to become, right? And so like you say, even if you don't know how it, what did you do to attract the people, but you have everything is right. You have the right, give people the right space, right? You be respectful for others, then be curious and continue to expand their learnings. And that's the old saying in Asia, if when the learner the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So that's how life beautiful is, right?
I choose to believe so. I choose to believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for validating
Yeah.
what you are saying. But what a beautiful question you've asked me. What have I done to attract the grace, the life's grace, as we call it? I would say I've been able to surrender myself
Surrender.
and experiment with what is. But yeah, I would still give. Who am I to give? I would still say that it's because of the grace, the universe grace, that has definitely helped me. Yeah.
Hmm. Farrell, you said that you've been exposed to the coaching during the period of 2005 and later after that, but you've been having a very successful career prior to that, right? And normally when we when the people get into a successful career, they tend to go with that trajectory for long. But then you decided to stop that career and move fully onto the space of coaching. What was it so fascinating to you back then to decide to go all in?
Mm. It's a very interesting question you're asking when you're saying that very successful career you've had. And the question to be asked is according to whom? If getting a good job, getting a decent salary, getting a couple of good designations behind your name, uh, dedicated transportation, and two times a meal in the office, if you call it success, and that's where I need to revisit, and that's what I revisited.
Oh.
Um, did it give me an opportunity to express myself in my last job? My answer is no, because I was doing what my boss was asking me to do.
Mm.
Uh, did I have the autonomy to take decisions? And as I said, to express myself, my answer is no. Did I connect with those people? Today, if I look back, do I have good friends in the last organization that I worked with? My answer is no.
Mm.
But today, if I look at what I do today, do I have good friends? Oh, ask me. I think I have made long lasting relationships with colleagues and friends that I work with. Um, the so called clients who came in my life a couple of years back, they're a part of my life, very much a part of my life. And in fact, I joke around when we come together as community, I joke around the very fact that I'm building this community so that I have at least 100 people on my last right, whenever that is.
Mm.
Every time when I connect with people today, I tell them that I would like to connect with you so that I can grow old with you.
Yeah.
Um, so I think the basic desires of a human soul, be it expression, connection, or contribution, those were not met then, even if, according to few people, it was so-called successful career.
Mm.
And every time when that was not being met, I felt suffocated from inside.
Mm.
I want to breathe. I want to express. I want to tell people the gifts that I've been blessed with. I would like to connect with them. I would love to understand their stories. I would like to make a difference from the gifts that I was blessed with. And those were not available to me then, unlike what is available today.
Mm.
Would you call it a successful career today? I don't know. But am I happy? Of course, yes. Of course, yes. At 2 o'clock, I can show up with the same level of curiosity, with the same level of fun and excitement. So, yeah, it was very simple because I was not enjoying it. I was not happy. It was not at all a life changing decisions, as they call it. Coming back to just got lucky.
Mm.
The grace was shining at me. And I said, hey, let's take this tour and let's see what happens. And as I say it in Hindi, और कुछ नहीं होगा तो तजुर्बा होगा. If nothing else, I'll get an experience.
Well, Gaurav, here's the thing. A lot of us stuck with the works that are not happy, right? With the bosses that are not empower us to do something, not letting us to be authentic self and not letting us to make mistakes also, right? And things like that. So that happened to many people. So in 2005, you took a leap of faith to go to a new industry that was also new in India back then. 2005 is pretty early age for coaching also, right? So how did you know that's gonna change your life?
Actually, I didn't know that. And
Hmm.
thank you for asking that question because these questions are very important for me at least to reflect. Let me share another episode from my life to you.
Hmm.
During that time, another friend of mine who happens to be a lawyer, he branched off from his earlier avatar and he said, I would like to start my own practice. So, and coincidentally, even his name is Gaurav. Two Gauravs started the journey together.
The same name.
Same name, right?
Ah.
Uh, Childhood buddies, we have been friends since third standard. We started the journey together. I think the difference is the support that I got from my family,
Mm.
the support that I got from my friends. I don't think that was available to him at that point. It was not at all available to him. It was available to me. I think that support from the family made all the difference.
Mm.
It made all the difference. And as I mentioned, the grace, um, I've started to believe that how everything has been destined. You just have to show up.
Mm.
When in deep shit, when in deep garbage, when in deep dilemma or confusion, go back to basics and just show up.
Mm.
And life has its own ways of giving you challenges and making sure that you get to strengthen your muscles so that you can handle those challenges really well.
Mm.
I didn't know that I'll be successful, and today also I don't know if I'm successful. What I knew then was that I was not happy and I want to do something that will make me happy, that will allow me to show up from my gifts, that will allow me to connect with people, that will allow me to meet new friends, meet new people who could possibly be my friends, that will allow me to tap into my deeper values. And I know that exactly today as well. The difference is that point in time, it was an experiment. Today, it has been validated. Now it's time to move to the next level.
Beautiful.
Grace and family support and the support of your friends. I think if you have that, rest everything could be created for you. Everything.
Wow. Wow. Gaurav, with that being said, it leads to another question. Is also important. All right.
Hmm.
Um, show up is a sign of very strong character. All right, to me, and despite the uncertainty of the future, because a lot of us go into the journey experimenting, trying our best, and then but the result is yet to come, right?
Hmm.
So we always see a lot of challenges, a lot of doubts and stuff like that, and that wear people down. That make people to disbelieving in themselves, have limiting belief,
Hmm.
have self doubts, conversations and stuff, and they stop showing up. All right.
Hmm.
We don't want them to stop showing up if they know that something is if they're working on something, and even if yet seeing the result of that, we want them to continue to give all the strength, efforts, and everything to continue walking the path and showing themselves up. So, what message did you talk to yourself back then to not giving up and continue to show up day after day?
Yeah. Uh, let's try and understand what are those things, what are those areas in my life where I not sure, where I was expecting too much from myself. And when I did not get that in a month or two, I gave that up. And now if I look at the areas where I did not give up, let's say coaching, right? I did not give up.
Hmm.
Why didn't I go up? And why didn't I give up? Because one, I was not expecting a lot from myself. Everything that was coming my way, I think, wow, I just got lucky here as well. And I started making small goals instead of I would like to be, or instead of saying to myself that I would like to be the guy in the industry.
Hmm.
Um, so I would make small goals. I would continue to walk on that path. And every time when I good thing, I said to myself, "Shucks, man, that made my day. How could I get so lucky in my life?"
Hmm.
And today also, every time when I meet my family, every time when I meet my friends, my colleagues, my team members, or the small accomplishments that we get, I say to myself, "Shucks, man, how could I be so lucky in my life? I didn't expect that." We are at the verge of celebrating our 100th episode of the X Months Drive.
Hmm.
And I've interviewed some really phenomenal guests on my podcast. And after every episode, I used to tell myself, I say to myself, how could I get so lucky in my life to have him on my podcast? I think one thing that has helped me to stay true to my path is my ability to express gratitude.
Mm.
Now, Shukrana is not something that I have learned at the cognitive level. It's a part of my life. If you cut my veins, you might not get blood. You might get a dose of gratitude.
Mm.
If, and today also I tell them, because there are times when I get into that complaint mode in my life. And that's the reason I'm saying if. And interestingly, what I'm saying right now is it's a dichotomy, because on one hand I'm saying that if you cut my vein, you will get gratitude. On the other hand, there are times when I get into that complaining zone, but that's how the polarities exist.
Mm-hmm.
If I can learn how to live my life from that space of gratitude, from a space of fear, from a space of complaint, from a space of scarcity, from a space of inadequacy, from a space of lack, I cannot create something which is worthwhile.
Mm.
From a space of abundance, from a space of gratitude, from a space of open, from a space of experimentation, I can create anything. That is one. Second is what people call success. I've started to see that that's a byproduct of what I do. One of the biggest challenges that people don't take risk is that when they say that, okay, if I invest this kind of money, what if it fails? So we are working on a technology platform, and I'm saying let's experiment and see what happens.
Mm.
And it's nothing else. मजा आएगा यार और कुछ नहीं तो तजुर्बा होगा. It will be fun. Nothing, if nothing else, at least I would get an experience. So I think those are the few traits that have helped me to keep that tenacity alive.
Mm.
And yeah.
Wow. Gaurav, I have a few more questions before we end this conversation. And as a person that loves to spread the goodness around, I believe that you are the one also doing that, and that is how you bring the luck to yourself. So you mentioned that there's a lot of lucky, and I think that that is something that the team we don't know about when they come, but a lot of that comes also from our intention, our works, how we show up in the world also, right? If that's boiled down to one thing, one positive change that you would want to see in this world, what would that one little thing is, Garo?
Oh, very simple. Living a life from a space of shukrana. Living a life from a space of gratitude.
Gratitude.
Very, very simple. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then teach us, how can we start the baby steps
Ah,
to living a life with Suprana?
I love it the way you call shukrana. Thank
It,
you. That's a word that I've learned from my mother.
uh,
And let me just share this story with you. You know, one of those beautiful evenings, I reached back home. My mother was making curd. And if you know the process of making curd or yogurt, right? You just take the yeast, put it in a container, pour warm milk in that, keep it for some time, let it cool down, and after some time, you keep it in the refrigerator, uh, let it get cold, and what you get out of that is yogurt, right? Curd. Simple process. When I reached home, my mother was doing this process. She picked up a teaspoon of yeast, poured it in a container, started pouring warm milk there. And while she was doing that, she was saying, Waheguru, 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 Tera sugar hai, Waheguru, 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 Tera sugar hai. And I was wondering, Mom, for such a small thing, right? Such a simple process this is, why are you bothering God? And for the benefit of our audience, Waheguru is the first guru of Sikhism. And Shukr hai is thank you, Lord, thank you, my Lord, thank you, my Lord, thank you, my
mm,
Lord. And I was wondering, and I said, Mom, for such a small thing, why would you bother the Lord? And she said, at any point in time, I don't want and she said it in Hindi. Let me just share that, and then I will convert that. I'll translate that into English. She said, मेरे को ऐसा नहीं लगना चाहिए कि मेरी वजह से बन रहा है. At any point in time, I don't want that whatever is happening because of me. And this is my way, and that's what she said. This is my way of expressing my shukrana, my gratitude to the Lord. The lesson that I learned then, it stayed with me for the longest period of time. I think it'll go with me. And as I'm just sharing that with you, I'm getting goosebumps because I think that's the best lesson that I could learn in my life.
Beautiful.
Coming to the question, how can we learn? Just look around. If you look around, there are so many reasons to be grateful for. You know, right now, it's freezing cold in Delhi, and I have a heater next to me. Even if I don't have this heater, I have these beautiful team members who are sitting next to me, sharing their warm vibes with me. I have a team to work with. I have the ability to speak to you. I'm alive, I'm breathing. I have water to drink. We have this technology which is helping us to connect with people, with friends, all around. Right? I mean, look around, there are so many reasons to be grateful for. At the same time, does it mean that you don't have a reason not to be grateful for? Of course, go and search for it, you'll find 1 million reasons not to be grateful for as well. The choice is yours, right?
The choice.
If you would like to celebrate life or you would like to live your life from a space of resentment, of course, there are things that happened in my life. I feel that, you know what, life was unfair to me. In June this year, my mom moved on. She was dealing with some medical challenges for 3 years, and in June she decided to move on. But if you ask me, I'm really grateful because when that happened, the entire family was around her, holding hands, and she was breathing her last breath. Can I say that life was unfair to me then? Of course I can say that. But it's absolutely up to me if I'm choosing to look at that episode of my life as something where the entire family came together, the siblings were together to support each other. I think there's one achievement that I'm really proud of in my life. Those 3 years, we 3 siblings were together. Dad took care of himself. He supported mother when she needed that, right? I think the entire family came together in the last phase of my mom in the 3-dimensional realm. So I don't see a reason not to be grateful for. I mean, why wouldn't you be grateful for? If you're choosing to live in a space of resentment or resignation, that so even if you're making a choice, you should be grateful for life that you are making a choice to be resentful. So just identify on a daily basis, identify the people who have contributed to your life. Next day, identify the things that you've been blessed with. Next day, identify the situation that helped you grow in your life. Next day, identify that you have eyes. Next day, identify all the beautiful things that you can see. Be grateful for that. Next day, look at the food that has been served to you. Be grateful for that. Next day, identify the friends who have been with you for the longest period of time. Go and say thank you to them, right? Look at all the people who you have met in your life that have helped you become better professionals. Go and say thank you to them, right? And next day, just go back in a memory lane. Identify that teachers who helped you become who you are, those childhood buddies who have contributed to your life, those unspoken things that you wanted to share with people and you have not shared, go and tell them. So every day there could be several reasons to be grateful for. In case you're choosing to live in the space of it's and nobody else is imposing a choice onto you. You have the autonomy to make a choice. So,
So the choice all yours, right? The choice all us. It's up to us to decide
absolutely.
how do we create the next movement. I totally believe with you, and that's why I hold on my table the book of choice. So every day that we
Yeah,
just open a random page and see what's there. It's like how God called us to do for the day. So we will follow that.
precisely.
All right. Two last questions. All right. The first is about thinking. Okay, my wife and I, we have been on the quest to help people to improve their ability to think. And every chance that we talk to experts who are helping others to grow, for sure, you have a lot of opportunity to learn and think and grow in your thinking. So, Gaurav, what is the secret source of you to help yourself to expand your ability to think over the years?
Hmm. What a great question this. How can I improve my thinking?
Hmm.
I always look at what's happening to me. I
Hmm.
think awareness is a gift.
Hmm.
It's the best gift that you can give to yourself or
Hmm.
others. And if I can be fully and completely aware in this moment right now, that will allow me to understand how am I a cause in what I'm experiencing right now, and what is the message for me that will help me to be a better version of who I am.
Hmm.
Because who I am is how I lead my life.
Yep.
And in order to improve my thinking, I need to understand, I need to go back to who I'm being here in this situation. Because the being that you are is driving the thinking that you have.
Hmm.
And if I can go back and look at the thought pattern that I'm getting right now, the thoughts which are driving my behavior right now, will definitely assist me to be a better version of who I am. Because in order to improve your thinking, I have to improve who I am. And when I'm saying improve I am, I think that's a wrong statement. I need to revisit who I am.
Hmm.
And if I can revisit who I am, I just need to move from one being to another being. I just need to look at my own narrative and shift my narrative.
Beautiful.
And if I can explore that who I'm being, the who part behind the thinking, I can drive a different behavior that will drive a different results altogether.
Hmm.
So that's how I'll approach what you're asking.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I hope that a lot of us be able to have a sense of our awareness, right? To have a sense of, to be
Yeah.
able to see what happened inside of us before, so that, so that we can go on in our thinking and grow from there. And before we go to the next questions, I'm sorry deeply for the loss, of your mom. I think that she has been doing a wonderful job as modeling the great things, and to not only to you, I'm sure to many many other people in living a life with gratitude. And wherever she is now, I'm sure that she's really taking care really really well with love and with all the good things that she's been, you know, demonstrating. All right. So now let's move to the last question of the conversation is about the future. Is there anything that you are working on that is exciting and you want to share with us? So we can celebrate with you in advance.
I think everything that we are doing right now as an organization is very exciting. We are creating one of the biggest ecosystem in the world. Um, an ecosystem where we bring world-class coaches and leaders from various walks of life for personal transformation and leadership development. So, be it assisting leaders to become coaches, or leadership development work, or doing one-on-one coaching, or the podcast that we have, the one of the biggest coaching platforms that we have called the Coaching Conclave. It's an annual property that we have, or building um, the coaching management system. I think everything that we are doing is very, very exciting. But I think apart from everything, something that I'm really excited about is the community that we are building.
No.
And while Um, we are curating the community as an organization, right? If you ask me, actually, the team does all the work. I get all the glory. Just got lucky here as well. Um, I think the community is something that I'm really proud of and I'm super excited about. Is everyone who is getting into the community is coming from a mindset of contribute before we consume. Just imagine that you have a group of 50 people, 100 people, 200 people, 500 people coming together with one mindset of just contributing,
Beautiful.
right? And the common theme which is running in the entire community is of gratitude. We all come together from a space of gratitude, from a space of awareness, just to contribute.
Mm.
The kind of abundance that we can create in a center is mind blowing.
Mm.
And I can't wait for the in the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, when we would be one of the biggest, strongest community of soulful, heartful people, like-minded people, like-hearted people coming together just to serve each other.
Mm.
I think that's so phenomenal. I'm super excited about that. Can't wait
Wow.
to witness that.
Wow. Gaurav, and then I wish that you will have all the supports, all the love, all the support that you will, you will receive to make that journey to happen. Because when the masterminds come together, when the good people gather together, they will create significant change, beautiful change happen to their communities, to their society that they servicing, and those ripple effects will goes really really far. So I wish that will happen, and I look forward to seeing you in Vietnam one day, my friend. Okay.
Looking forward. Thank you so much for being so kind and bringing such beautiful questions. Took me on a beautiful memory lane. I wish you all the very best.
Thank you very
Uh,
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Take
you
care.
very
Bye
much.
bye.
You take care and enjoy the last week of 2022, heading 2023
Absolutely.
with all the best.
Let's wish everyone a very happy new year 2023, and the year brings a lot of generosity, a lot of abundance, a lot of happiness, a lot of shukrana
Yep, a
in
lot of
everyone's
sugar.
life, and good health for the world.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye, my friend.